Welcome to your online class. Please visit your Google Classroom so that you can see all the updated assignments and activities that are posted every day. So to be in sync with the class, please visit your Google Classroom every day. Read the information that is in the description below. Usually I type all the narratives right there, so it is helpful for you. You do not need to open any other ebooks, but you can just open the description, expand it, and you can read it while you are listening and watching the video at the same time. Navigate using the timestamp that is given in the description. You can move back and forth, jump forward or backward using the timestamp that is in the description below. Help you to quickly navigate any part of the video you wish to. Pause the video anytime you want to maybe perhaps read the information carefully. So feel free to pause the video so that you have time to read, can catch up with the rest of the information. So now please continue to watch this video, as there will be a little more explanation to the topic and the narrative. I try to not read every line, but instead I will try to give you a summary of each paragraph that is given and pose few questions from that paragraph. And when you open your Google Classroom, you will find those questions. So if you watch this video ahead of time, you can actually already know what are the review questions, and including the answer actually from me. That way you know what you're typing, the answers are correct and accurate. All right, so continue to watch the video. Day 2, paragraph number 1, the Zoroastrian Tradition. I am not going to read through the paragraph word by word. You can go ahead and read that. If you have already read that, continue to listen to me so that I can pose the question and you can ponder upon what to answer. Those of you who have not yet read, either from this screen here or from the description or from the ebook, please pause the video right now and take a moment to read the two paragraphs. All right, the two paragraphs, the first and the second paragraph, and then I will have a simple question for you. Let's ask this one question that I have based on the two paragraphs, and that is, list 5 important points from the above reading. Please take a moment, go back, and look at some of the key points in those two paragraphs and list them down right here. Moving on with the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth paragraph. All right. This is the last 4 paragraphs that we have on this narrative for today, beginning with Zarathustra's early ministry. So it talks about how he began at the age of 20 and to the age of 30. He secluded himself. He was searching for the truth. He wanted to know what is right. How do we know what is morality? And he was disturbed with all sorts of things that were happening in his community. And so here I have posed a few questions, all right? So if you have not read again, please pause the video right now. Those of you who have finished reading, now you can continue to listen. Next question that I have is, list few facts versus fiction or opinion from your reading. You just now read 4 paragraphs. Based on the 4 paragraphs information, list few facts, factual information that could be proven through historical records, and list few opinion-based information that you think are perhaps opinion of Zarathustra or maybe his followers. So I give you a table with 2 columns, fill them up, one side facts and the other side opinion. Question number 4. List new reformation or changes Zarathustra brought into his society. Few reformation. You will actually find that on the paragraphs, the second last paragraph. Zarathustra arose as a prophet who strongly denounced the ritual practices of the warrior societies. He did not like this ritual practice, and especially his society was so much into warfare. He didn't like that. He wanted to change that kind of attitude. He also wanted people not to be indulged in drinking, stealing, slaughtering cattle, and all kinds of things. He said, no, this needs to stop. He fought against the cruel and bloody practice of animal sacrifice. He also did not like animal sacrifice. He also told people to stop drinking intoxicating drinks. Stop those things. All right. So those are some of the things. And of course, he wanted people to turn their attention to Ahura Mazda. Okay, so those are some of the reformations that he did in his society during his time. Next, I have is list few teachings of Zoroastrianism from the last paragraph above. The last paragraph talks about the Zarathustra came up with this idea of one true God. What else? He came up with this idea of dualism, that there is these 2 equal forces. All right, there's the good and the bad. The good is the Spentamainu, all right, the Holy Spirit, while the bad is the Angramainu, the lie. All right, and these 2 are at war. And we have to join Ahura Mazda so that his team would win at the end. This is why it's called dualism, where you have 2 ideas, very, very powerful, and both seems to be equally strong. And so we are not sure who will win at the end. And Ahura Mazda needs our support to help him win the battle. This is called dualism. Now, you know that in Christianity we do have dualism, the idea of the good and the bad. But Christianity is not dualistic idea in the sense that we do not believe that Satan can overpower God, that we need to fight for God. All right? No, we do not need to fight for God. God can fight his own battle. And at the end, Satan will not win. All right? It's understood because God is more powerful. So Christianity is not actually dualistic idea, but Zoroastrianism is actually a dualistic idea where you have Ahura Mazda and Angramainu, or Spentamainu and Angramainu are equally, that's why they're called twin spirits. Twin spirits, they're like twins. They're equal. Who will win at the end? We're not sure. To make sure that the Spentamainu wins at the end, we need to join. We need to subscribe to Ahura Mazda through Zoroaster. Zarathustra is recruiting people. Zarathustra is trying to get people to focus on Ahura Mazda so he wins at the end of time. Interesting idea. Those are the things that he came up with. And of course, one of the interesting thing about Zoroastrianism is that they believe that we should all live a happy life. Should not be pessimistic. We should not focus on negative side. We should get married, have children, bring up the children in a proper way. We should have cattle, raise cattle, have farming. And don't ditch your society and seclude yourself. No, don't do that. Live with your family, be happy, support each other. Yes, life is not always fun, not always happy, sad time comes. But when you have a community, they can support each other and strengthen and comfort each other during the time of trouble. So those are some of the things he taught. He also said that at the end, everyone will be judged by Ahura Mazda. So if you don't want to be thrown into hell, you should subscribe to Ahura Mazda. All right, our last question is, during the time of Zarathustra, most of Iran, Persia, India practiced pantheistic or polytheistic worldview. How do you think Zarathustra got the idea of one true God or monotheistic idea? Now, Zoroastrians, they say that they were the first one in the history of humanity to come up with this idea of one God. And from Zoroastrianism, the rest of the world copied, like the Jews, then the Christians, and then later on the Muslims. They all copied this idea of one God. But actually, if you look at the history, you will notice that that's not the case. The reason why Zarathustra got to know about this one God is because his ancestors, the kings before in Persia and in Babylon, in Iraq, they went down to Judea or Israel and attacked that country and brought captives all the young, talented Jewish Hebrew people, brought them into Persia and made them to work for them. And if you know the story of Daniel, remember, where did the story of Daniel take place? It was in Babylon, it was in Persia. Where did the story of Queen Esther happen? Also in Persia. And who were these people? They were Hebrews. They were Jews taken captives from Israel by the Persian and the Babylonian king, who went down south, attacked Israel, and brought these people as refugees or as captives. And I believe that these Hebrews, these Jews, are the ones who talked about this one God in Persia, and that's where the Persians got to know about this one God. And later on, when the Hebrews left Persia, when they went back to Israel, then you have this man called Zoroaster, who comes up with this idea, and he wants to revive the teaching of one God. So I would say that he was not the person who first invented or came up with this idea of one God, but rather he was a reformer who revived this concept of one God in his community once again. So those are a few questions. You can write the answers in your Google Classroom and turn it in within the time frame. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a nice day.